So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about how Manchester United will line up with Mason Mount and Amrabat in the midfield next season, how Amrabat coming in will really help United, what kind of player Amrabat is, and how Amrabat and Mason Mount together will transform the Man United midfield, how they will be used, why does Ten Hag want them. But obviously, we know Mason Mount is a done deal. And before I get really into the Amrabat story, this is just the lineup that I expect to see. I think his main role will be a Casemiro backup, but we're going to talk about the role he will play when Amrabat will be on the same pitch as Mount, as well as if Mount goes out wide and Amrabat plays alongside Casemiro. We're going to talk about that role in a second. But before I actually talk about why Amrabat's such a good player, why Ten Hag wants a volume passer, a player that's press resistant like Amrabat, a player as fantastic as Amrabat with versatility, we're going to talk about obviously the transfer news on Amrabat. We know that Mason Mount has been signed and that Manchester United seem to be on the verge of signing Amrabat. Amrabat has rejected an approach from Liverpool in favour of Manchester United. Amrabat has now agreed to join United. So not only did Mount reject Liverpool for Manchester United, it's being reported that Amrabat has agreed to join Manchester United. It said that he agreed. There's agreement in principle for him to join United on a $4 million a year contract, which, you know, I think it's only 70 to 80k a week, but people will make out United are offering 300k a week, and that's why he's rejected Liverpool. There was also other news coming out that he will not travel to Belgrade for Florentina's pre-season friendly, and United are edging closer. It said that United will look to get the deal done after they sign Rasmus Højlund, but we've got to remember that United are heavily focused on the Rasmus Højlund situation. Moroccan reports and sources that have had contact with Amrabat's agent are saying, look, Amrabat will join United. We're 100% sure of it. Amrabat's agent has told Moroccan sources he will join United, and apparently there's already been an agreement reached. He's chosen United. He will join United, and that all United needs to do is put in around a €30 million bid to get the Amrabat deal done. So we're going to talk about why United want Amrabat on top of Mason Mount and why this is fantastic business. Now, first of all, this is absolutely fantastic business because Moises Caicedo, who I love, and I wanted us to go for Moises Caicedo, would have cost us £100 million. Enzo Fernandes in January would have cost us £100 million. Declan Rice this summer would have cost us £105 million. What do you get with Mason Mount and Amrabat? You get two players for about £77 million. And United this summer had about a fixed budget of about 120 to 150 million net spend. And we needed a striker, which doesn't come cheap in this market, a goalkeeper, a good one, and we needed two midfielders. The fact with that signing Amrabat and Mount for £77 million has given us about £30 million more money than if we'd have signed Caicedo or Rice, and we get two players in there. First of all, I think it's good business from United. I complained a lot. I wasn't the biggest fan of Mount. I wanted us to get Caicedo, but I said if we get another midfielder on top of Mount, I'm very happy with it. So first of all, United are getting two midfielders for less than the price of one major midfielder, and these two midfielders are going to have such a role because United don't only just need midfielders to lift their technical depth, their technical quality, but they also need midfielders to lift their depth, and Amrabat comes in and most definitely lifts the depth. So obviously Man United signed Mason Mount mostly to be more in that Eriksen role, a bit more creative. Eriksen doesn't have the energy in those big games to keep up with opposition, so Man United signed someone like Mason Mount, who's also excellent out of possession. Mason Mount, someone that Ten Hag sees as a guy that's going to be doing all those tactical things when he makes tactical changes off the ball. Mason Mount's a very intelligent player. He's also got leadership quality, and Mason Mount's obviously very versatile, can play on the wing. You know, if we use Amrabat in the same midfield as Mason Mount, he could potentially play on the wing. He's very good at the counter press. Mason Mount can be the first receiver in deeper areas, progress the ball, and he, of course, is a leader. And then obviously you've got the likes of Amrabat. Amrabat is a defensive midfielder who usually plays in a 4-3-3 with him sitting at the base of a midfield three for Florentina, but he is capable of playing higher up the pitch. He will most likely be used as a Casemiro backup. As you can see on my screen here, he will, that's the wrong screen. I was going to say he will most likely be used this season as Casemiro rotation option, as a Casemiro backup, as you can kind of see on the screen here. But he definitely has the ability to play in the Mount role, definitely has the ability to be flexible as well. So what is Amrabat's strengths? Why are United so interested in Amrabat? And then we're going to look at 3 ways that United will line up with Amrabat and Mount in the same midfield. Well, what Amrabat has is not only is he great defensive cover, not only can he shield the back four. We saw him in the World Cup, he was absolutely fantastic. We saw him in the Conference League final against West Ham, was absolutely fantastic. But he's also actually pretty good on the ball. And I think, you know, he's not amazing on the ball. He's not Frankie de Jong-esque or anything like that, but he is in the 90th percentile for long range passes and distant passes. He's very good at progressing the ball. He's got a good eye. He's a very good deep line playmaker, and I do think we need more quality in progressing the ball from midfield to attack. And I think that's another reason Ten Hag wants him. He's in the 92nd percentile for progressive passes into the final third, and obviously he has very good ability to do defense splitting passes, and he is a high volume passer. And I think the fact that Man United needs someone with good range on their passing, United need a high volume passer. I think that Amrabat is good for that. Obviously, I think he will be used as the deepest midfielder in Erik Ten Hag's 4-2-3-1/4-3-3 system. And obviously, he's not a Frankie de Jong profile. He's not the most amazing first phase midfielder like de Jong. But I think, if he is covered up, he will probably mostly be used as backup for Casemiro, but he can definitely play alongside Casemiro as well. What I love about Amrabat is he's just very good at winning the ball. He's fantastic. Defensively, he's very aware. In the World Cup, Morocco absolutely protected them defensively, and his primary task is always just to mop up danger, protect the defense, make sure the defense is all right. On top of him having a pretty good technical ability, he's good at progressing the ball. He's good at dribbling the ball. He ranks in the 88th percentile for progressive carries, carrying a distance, and also in the 95th percentile for successful take-ons. So the 88th percentile for carrying distance and 95th percentile for successful take-ons shows that he's a good player. And I read a thread actually that gave me a bit more detail on the situation, and I will put the link to the thread in the description. If you want to read a Twitter thread on the situation, I'll put the link in the description. But the Twitter thread actually spoke about Amrabat, and they obviously talked about his stats being in the 95th percentile for this, but they said in addition, Amrabat is really technically secure. He ranks in the 93rd percentile for times tackled during take-ons and 88th for tackles during take-on percentage. So basically showing that he is pretty much always tackling people trying to take him on. He's got a good tackle success rate. He can tackle dribblers. So not only is he a good tackler, not only is he defensively sound, not only is his positional sense good, not only will he be deployed to help the back four, but he is quite good on the ball, passing the ball as well. And at Fiorentina, he is mostly used as a deep line playmaker with the role of screening the back line, dropping deep for the ball when the opposition is the rest defense dictating the game. And that was said in an amazing thread that I will put the link to down below, who kind of spoke about how Amrabat will be used. It was written by a guy called ZAM_FC, and he spoke about how Amrabat's flexibility will be a brilliant strength for Amrabat. But I want to get into how United are going to line up with Amrabat. Mason Mount has been signed in that Eriksen role, and for his ability off the ball, and for his technical ability, and for his tactical ability to be deployed. Amrabat has predominantly been deployed as a Casemiro backup, but in those big games where Man United go away to Anfield, where Man United go away to the Etihad, Man United aren't going to be able to play Bruno, Mount, Casemiro away at Anfield, away at the Etihad, unless they want to ship a few goals again. Now, I think that we will look better next season. I don't think there'll be any 7-0s, even with this team, not at all. But there's, Casemiro, Mount, Bruno, there's not enough defensive protection. Maybe Luke Shaw plays inverted and helps the midfield. But what I could see Manchester United doing, and I think there's a reason, that Ten Hag is hoping to deploy Rashford as a striker a bit this season. You could even see Sancho play this false nine role that he's been doing in pre-season. I wouldn't be totally shocked if in some games Mason Mount is moved out wide as a kind of a left winger, and then Amrabat comes and plays this role here. I think there will be some games where Ten Hag will almost want to be a bit more defensive. It might be more of a 4-2-3-1 with kind of Bruno, with Casemiro and Amrabat in behind Bruno, and Mason Mount moved out wide. You could maybe see Sancho as a false nine, but I think we'll probably see Rashford up front as backup. And you could even potentially, it could even be the other way around. It could even be actually Mason Mount here in midfield, and then Bruno out here on the left. Personally, I don't like Bruno out wide. I mean, he can do a job out wide. If we play Bruno out wide, I personally play Bruno on the right, but we could see a 4-3-3 like this. I mean, look, we could even see something really different. We could even see something like Bruno out here on the right. We could see something like Rashford back on the left with, I don't know, we'll say Højlund here, or Sancho. We'll probably put Højlund in because I think we will sign Højlund. And then we could actually something like, Eriksen here. We could see something like Amrabat, Eriksen, and Mount potentially on the bench. There's loads of ways that United can line up in midfield next season. I think predominantly we might see this lineup in the lesser games. I think that in the bigger games, against away at Anfield, away at the Etihad, I even think there's potential to see a diamond. I actually think, especially because Ten Hag speaks about wanting to be one of the best teams in transitions, I think there's a real ability for Rashford and Højlund to be deployed as split strikers here, and actually to see United starting to play maybe the diamond in possession. But there's so many ways that Amrabat can come in and help United, and Mason Mount can come and help United. Obviously, I think Amrabat will be potentially Casemiro backup throughout most of the season, but I do think he's going to have a big role. I think Mason Mount will be a regular starter, but I definitely think Amrabat's going to have a big role, and I think him and Mount can definitely play in the same side. I mean, look, there might even be times where you'd almost see, hopefully we don't, I'm not a big fan of this, but you could even see Mason Mount being deployed as a left winger, someone like Bruno being deployed as a right winger, and then you could even see someone like Eriksen and Amrabat there in the midfield. So I hope you found this video informing. I kind of just wanted to talk about the many ways that we could line up with Amrabat and Mount in the midfield, and why Ten Hag wants Amrabat. Obviously, the signing of Amrabat is not done. The signing of Mount, of course, is done, and anything could happen with Manchester United, but it's looking increasingly likely that Manchester United are going to sign Amrabat. So please do smash that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Thank you for watching today's video. Please share it as well. See you next time. Bye.